Hello there. What we're going to be looking at today are different ethical, legal and cultural issues. So let's get going. So first of all, we're going to be looking at stakeholders. Stakeholders are someone who is involved with an issue or a problem. It's often quite common to have more than one stakeholder involved with something. There are obvious stakeholders, some might be less obvious. So for example, if you are thinking about a company releasing a new mobile phone, some of the stakeholders you can think about straight away are the company themselves, the directors, also the customers, the consumers, the people who are in the shops who are selling the new mobile phone. So when you're thinking about stakeholders, making sure you are looking at the whole picture and thinking about who the different stakeholders are going to be. And again, we've got a few questions on the right hand side, just so you can check your knowledge of stakeholders. So give the video a quick pause, answer the questions, and then we can move on. Then we can have a look at morals and ethics, looking at morality and ethics. So they're slightly different, but they work along the same ideas, the same concept about the something that might feel wrong or unacceptable, but it doesn't break a law. So being moral is behaving in a way considered by most people to be correct and honest, doing the right thing, doing a good thing, doing the thing that people should do. And ethics is about being in line with principles of conduct. So for example, teachers have got an ethical code where we need to do certain things and not do certain things. So making sure you know the difference between morality and ethics is really important, because you can come up against 8-mark exam questions which asks for either something moral or something ethical. So you need to make sure you're happy between the two. And over there on the right hand side, again, we've got some questions. So give the video a quick pause and then we'll get underway again. So here we have got different ethical and moral issues. They might be ethical, they might be moral, or they might be neither. So a company decides to install a range of computer software and hardware that would make most of its workforce unemployed. Digging for shale gas, also known as fracking, to release more energy supplies. The advancement of artificial intelligence and the use of live animals for testing. So have a think. Do you think they're ethical? Do you think they're moral? Do you think it's ethical and moral? Do you think it's neither? And just write down what you think the answer is and why. Back it up. And again, bonus points as always for real life examples. And then we'll have a look at the answers. So give the video a quick pause so you can have a look and write down your answers. And then we'll have a look. So a company using its range force, it would be a moral issue. Fracking would be a moral issue. Advancement of artificial intelligence would be moral and ethical, as would be the use of live animals for testing. Cultural issues. Loads of different countries have got different points of view of what is right, what is wrong, and it depends country by country, where you're going, what you're doing. Something which might be trivial in one country might be really quite dangerous in another country. If we're thinking about languages, character set, so for example, if you're using ASCII, you can't use ASCII in China because it's not got the character set for China within ASCII, because again, we've only got 128 characters. That's where Unicode needs to come into play. Use of social media, colors, even something as trivial as putting your feet up on a table in some cultures is considered really, really rude. So we need to think about different cultural issues, which is the question on the right hand side. So give the video a quick pause. So again, language and character sets, they can be thinking about communications, how certain colors are perceived across different countries. Does every country allow access to social media, for example Facebook, in the same way? Globalization of computers, do privacy and computer legislations apply in every single country? What I want you to do is do a little bit of research now, answer those questions, and then we'll continue. So we're looking at environmental issues. Impacts of computer science in the environment can be positive, can be negative. Computers have helped in manufacturing, engineering, surgery, medicine. If it wasn't for supercomputers being able to do medical research, seeing what things work with what, we might not have some of the medicines we use commonly every single day. If you think about surgery, I personally know I've had keyhole surgery on my knee. If it wasn't for advances in computer science, they would have had to open up my entire kneecap. That would have been quite painful. Whereas with keyhole surgery, I was in and out in the same day. Technology requires electricity to function, so the more electrical components there are, we need to get this energy from somewhere, which can be quite bad if it's coming from fossil fuels. What happens to old computers? What happens to old robots? Recently, the Opportunity rover on Mars has stopped signaling, so now it is just sat on Mars. Is that the right thing to do? Could that eventually be an environmental issue for the Martian habitat? Who knows? But there's always going to be a balance of positives and negatives. So what I want you to do is think about what different impacts on the environment based around these areas we've looked at here. So give the video a quick pause and we'll carry on. Now we're going to look at different types of software. So we've got open source software, which generally allows users to access the code, edit, change, free to download. So was traditionally using TinyTake to produce these recordings. I'm now using OBS, which is an open source screen recording software. I can edit it, I can change it, I can tweak it to my heart's content. It's free to use, it's customizable, fantastic, happy days. So open source is really, really helpful. If there needs to be changes in it, it can come through. So we've got some benefits. It can be edited, it can be customized. There's strong support. It's free for computers to use, especially with people with limited budgets. I've not got a budget to be able to create these videos. I've got a baby on the way. I can't go spending 40, 50 quid on a piece of software where I've got something that does it for me for free. It allows collaboration for people who want to create modifications, and it can create better versions of software, may appear fast. So what I want you to do, quick pause. Why are these that we can see on the screen here, why are these benefits? Why are these good things? So give the video a quick pause, get it written down, and then we'll carry on. It has got weaknesses, however. It relies on the support of networks for other users. So if you're using something old, something which hasn't been used for a while, something which isn't maintained, and you want changes made to it, if there's not that support network there, it might not happen. To edit things, you of course need to have decent knowledge of the program itself, the programming language it's written in. Things might not happen in a strict time frame that you expected. So it might, if there's a limitation or weakness, you won't get an update straight away. It might take a little bit of time. Again, it could be open to exploitation. If someone adds malicious code into something, and people are using it, that then can be quite a bad experience, because people then might not trust that particular brand of open source software or open source software in general. So again, pause the video and explain these in paragraphs. Again, real life advantages, real life uses, real life implications for the open source software. These will always get you bonus points with me. So give the video a quick pause and then we'll move on. Proprietary software is licensed software, generally costs money to buy. It's got many features built into one. So, for example, if we think about FIFA is an example of proprietary software. It's got updates, support, upgrades, fixes are released for it, patches are released for it. Microsoft Windows, proprietary software. If we think about Microsoft Office, proprietary software, it's software that you buy the license for. So, proprietary software is fantastic, but it is one size fits all, which we'll look at again in a second. So we've got some advantages here for proprietary software. So again, after the end of this explanation, make sure you pause it, get these down into your book. So generally provides free customer support because you've bought into the license, you've bought into the software, so they want to keep you. There's always going to be someone to go back to if you've got problems. Bugs, security fixes, they're likely to be fixed faster because you've bought it. They don't want to have a bad reputation. Contains more features than something which might be compared to open source. So again, we've got different areas here, different advantages of proprietary software. So give it a quick pause. Answer the question over here. What are the advantages of using proprietary software? Using this information you can see, and then we'll carry on. There are limitations. Cost might be significant. So for example, if we are going back to the idea of FIFA, when FIFA is first released, you're going to spend at least 55 quid to buy it. So it can be expensive. I personally, when I buy FIFA, I wait a few months for the price to drop down. But the cost is significant. It is a major impact in why people don't want to use proprietary software, because it's expensive to create. It's only limited to expansion by what's available. So if you are playing FIFA and you think, oh, I know, I want to play as the mighty Barton Rovers, they don't exist in FIFA at all. If you think, oh, I know, I want to play in the Ryman League South Division 2, it doesn't exist in FIFA. So proprietary software is limited to expansion by only what is available. If it's not available there, you're not going to be able to use it, and you're not going to be able to do anything. It's reliant on one company. So what happens if FIFA goes bankrupt, if it goes bust, what's going to happen to the FIFA servers? What's going to be happening to the people who have spent hundreds of pounds on FIFA Ultimate Team? It's going to be useless. If they've not got the logon server there to play online, they've only got the offline mode, it's going to be pretty pants. Proprietary software as well may not fully meet the needs of the user. So if they want something specific created, proprietary software probably isn't going to be the right way to go. So again, what I want you to do, answer the question there, what's the disadvantages of using proprietary software? And now we're going to start looking at the Data Protection Act. So the Data Protection Act 1998 covers how personal data might be used by companies. And we can see here there are 5 areas which it covers. I'm not going to read them through, you can read that yourself. But essentially it governs how personal data is used, how it's collected, how it can be stored. So for this one, I want you to do a little bit of research. I want to see some real life examples of the Data Protection Act being used, and the question on the right hand side, what's the Data Protection Act, what's it cover, why is it important, what happens if companies, for example schools or businesses or Tesco's, didn't adhere to the Data Protection Act, what could happen with the information that is held on you. So give the video a quick pause and then we'll move on. So we've got the Computer Misuse Act, which makes it illegal to use computers to access computer systems without authorization, with intent to commit a criminal offence, or to alter data without permission. So what this is looking at is making it a law for people to cause harm with computers. So what I want you to do, answer a question on the right hand side, and again, I want to see real life examples. I want you to be talking about someone who has broken the Computer Misuse Act. What happened to them? How long were they put into jail for? Did they get a fine? What happened to them? And then we can look at the Copyright Designs and Patents Act. This is one which is often referred to as downloading a dodgy movie or downloading an album for free, because Copyright Designs and Patent Act protects people's written, dramatic, musical, film, broadcast property. So it makes it an offence to download an album for free when no one has paid any rights to be able to use it, where you download a movie for free without paying any rights for it. So the Copyright Designs and Patent Act protects people's work, protects what they have created. So again, pause the video, answer the question on the right hand side, and then we'll move on. And again, real life examples, always remember them. Finally, the last thing we're looking at in today's lesson is Creative Commons licensing. This allows people to protect their work, to make sure people can only use it in a particular way. So if I was going to release a rap album, I could release it under Creative Commons licensing, and then people can go and remix my songs, make edits to my songs, as long as they say this is where I got the original material for. Or I could take a picture of some speakers and say, yep, you can use the pictures of those speakers quite happily, but you need to say where it came from. You can't edit it. Or I could say, right then, this is my brand new fantastic red pen, but you can't use it for non-commercial purposes. So you can only use it for free things. So Creative Commons licensing, again, is fantastic if you want to create something which then inspires people to do different things. If you want to see your work used in different ways, it's absolutely fantastic because it allows you to do that, plus it also gives you back that level of control. So again, answer the question, real life examples, and that's the end of today's lesson, and I shall see you later. Bye bye.